Okay, so I decided I'd do the voiceover here separately. So I'm going to show a couple of different ways of doing this. This is it's almost like a mozzarella technique for doing fresh mozzarella, but you fold the dough in on itself like you would normally ball it, but you just do it out of a long strip, and you kind of like tighten it all the way up into the tail, quote unquote, and then you just use your pinky or your thumb and your index finger to pinch and kind of twist, and that's how you get it to cut itself. And once you get a good feel for the weight, you can do this pretty fast because you can start really like zeroing it in so that you're always in about the same, like, you know, 2 to 5 grams, which is normally pretty passable. I think one thing that you want to think about is it's almost like, think of like a balloon, like a latex balloon filled with sand, and you're just trying to move the sand around inside of it, right? Like you want to make a skin or keep the skin at the same place and just kind of be pushing around the stuff inside of it, and just try to get that crease as far out as you can. You don't want to keep pushing everything deeper and deeper in because you don't want to make a void, and a void is going to be like a little air pocket that will be in there, and then when the dough proofs and everything and you go to make a pizza out of it, that little air bubble flattened out just becomes a big hole. There's just not enough material um, to hold the sauce and everything. So here's a view from the front so you can get a little bit of a better idea. This one I just cut to the portion as opposed to that other style. And you should be able to see I kind of fold it twice in on itself. And then everything else is just taking that crease that I have and moving it up to the top. And then I just twist, 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 twist. You got to figure out what works the best for you. But again, the big part is that you don't want to have any air pockets in there. You want to make sure that you squeeze all of the dough into one solid mass. If the bottom of it isn't perfectly smooth, that's fine. But here's another one. See, in half again, squeeze real tight. And each time I do this, I'm moving that crease a little bit further up to the point where I can just, again, start pinching it and twisting it around. I think this is the view from the front. Sorry for the, here you go. You can see at the end there, like I'm not continuing to push the crease deeper. I'm just letting it slowly move its way to the outside and using whatever is inside, just kind of pushing the inside material together. See, 1, 2, squeeze. And then from there, everything else is just moving those creases up and pushing everything else in. Get to the top, twist and keep pinching. If you can get yourself some good modeling clay, that's a good way to kind of start getting a feel for how you can kind of play around with it. And this last one, you want to make sure the table is kind of dry here. You want the dough to stick to the table, and you're pulling it and just kind of, that's what's stretching the very bottom layer over and smoothing itself out. And that's just one more method of closing itself. All right, so here is opening a pizza. So what I do is I flour both sides. Now this is the bottom on facing up. I make one crust here starting from the middle out. And I flip that over and I use the side of my hand pushing outwards and in it this circular motion to make the crust. And then for this part, you want to make sure that you're really just on your knuckles here, and that you're really stretching the outer part of the dough. A lot of times people will do this and they'll be stretching just the middle, and you're kind of like, I think I move here in a second and you can see. What you're really stretching is the part just in between your two hands. You don't want that middle stretching at all. And then I stretch it a little bit smaller than it normally needs to be, because then you can stretch it out further later on.